There's no cover
There's
here.
not any cover at all. We're gonna die.
Okay, well they made it look better down here than it was.
That's how they get you.
Drawstring holy grease.
Oh no, he's about to snipe.
Dude, I can block it.
Get your full block going.
Yeah, watch this, watch this. Come on, hit me, hit me, hit me. It looks like a very uncomfortable... Yeah, look, I have so much stamina.
What if you just, like, counter it?
I don't... That would be insanity if you could do that.
You could just do like what they did in Kung Fu Panda, where Poe, like, knocked the weapon up and then he, like, hit it back at them.
That's a good point. Are you racist, misogynistic, homophobic, or sexist?
All the above.
It turns out... I'm all of them. Like the ultimate Kung Fu Panda meme.
Yeah.
Come on, shoot me. Go ahead. Come on. Okay, well.
I love the Kung Fu Panda trilogy. That's one of my favorite trilogies ever.
Would you want another movie?
I want to say yes, because I think the movies are so fun, but the third one actually ended pretty well, I thought, so I'm going to say no.
Would you want something like Kung True Panda? And he's, like, always telling the truth.
No.
Would you want Kung Ju Panda?
Yes, actually, I do. I do.
And then we got some representation, which is good.
What if Kung Ju Panda just, like, killed...
Hitler.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I shouldn't say that.
Hitler.
Bibbler.
I was going to say Himmler, and I was like, that's actually a person.
That's a guy who's arguably just as bad, actually.
I know.
It's just not everybody knows his name.
He's not as attractive, actually.
So, do you think there was a Sheeler? Or a Theyler, if there was a Himmler?
I think there was, yeah.
Cool.
That's Himmler's sister, is Sheeler.
Cool.
Who do you think's hotter, Himmler or Nidler?
I don't know if I could decide. I'd have to go with Mussolini, personally.
Do you think he was the hottest?
See, my question to you is, if you have a brother... Okay. If you have a sibling, right?
Okay.
And they identify by they, them pronouns.
Okay.
Are they your brother, or are they your sister?
Neither.
They're just your sibling?
No, they are your theyler.
Okay, alright. You got by the skin of your teeth this time. We'll catch you on something else,
okay. Though. We'll catch your transphobia sometime.
We've got our eye on you.
It's like the Community with J.K. Rowling's. Just trying to catch her with something.
To be fair, it's not hard with her.
No, not really. You know, I saw someone online the other day, and I actually kind of want to hear your thoughts on this. So, now, I feel like we should not even get into the whole J.K. Rowling's controversy, but it does have to do with her. I saw someone online go, because someone was, so J.K. Rowling, I don't remember what it was, but they were talking about something with Hogwarts Legacy, like the game coming out, and they were saying how, someone was saying how, like, well, this isn't canon to J.K. Rowling's story or whatever, and someone was saying, J.K. Rowling's is a transphobe, the community has taken the canon from her, she no longer has a say in it. And I want to know your thoughts on that. Can the community take someone's product from them if they don't agree with their opinions? Like, if the community says, Hermione is gay, actually, and J.K. Rowling says, Hermione is not gay, who is right?
Well, I know what you want me to answer with, but I'm going to pose a question to you in response. Don't we do that with Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed?
We make our own fan theories?
No, like, you and I truly believe that they are canonly connected, despite what Ubisoft says.
Right, but I think the difference is Ubisoft has actually put those in there. Like, there's actually an image.
But then they said that it wasn't.
Right, but it was.
Right, but
so that was very clearly taken back.
But they still changed that.
Right.
So, like, who are we to tell them?
Well, I think another difference,
That's different because it's us.
No, I think another difference is we have not taken it upon ourselves to decide the whole Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs canon. We've just said, I think they're in the same universe. Right. Whereas the community says, J.K. Rowling's no longer has a say on the canon. we've taken over the canon.
Well, I don't know, because I guess it depends, to me, it depends a little bit on who's being an idiot. Because, to me, J.K. Rowling did this same thing when how do I get up here?
You have to...
Oh, maybe that way?
Yeah.
When J.K. Rowling was like, oh, by the way, I always wanted Hermione to be black.
Right.
No, you didn't.
Right, yeah, because in the book
all.
it describes her as, like, pale. I don't know what the description is, but it says something like pale or something.
Right, so, like, to me, it's one of those things where, I guess to answer you, I think it has less to do with who owns it and who doesn't own it, and more to do with who's being an idiot. Because...
So what if J.K. Rowling's wrote a prequel to the Sorcerer's Stone book? Would it be canon, or would it not be canon because the community says... I don't care what you do anymore. We own this.
I guess, like, officially it would be, but it depends on if the community gives a fuck. Because if no one in the community cares, then the canon doesn't matter at all. So, like, if you have 90% of your community and they don't care, then it doesn't matter what you say is canon. They don't care. They're not going to buy it. It's not going to go anywhere. It just doesn't matter. They can completely disregard it and not care. Like, I can literally choose to just stop caring about Star Wars right after Episode 6 if I want to. And whether that stuff is canon or not, I don't give a fuck, because I'm never going to engage with that part of the story. So to me, it'll never matter. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like, I guess it kind of depends on how you want to interact with the media. Like, I think that you get into weird territory when you start saying, like, well, Scott Cawthon was a Republican, so therefore, like, I don't like his games anymore. With Five Nights at Freddy's, which is a similar thing. I think you start getting into weird territory, but, like, let's say all of Scott Cawthon's games were shit after, like, 2. Well, it doesn't really matter what's canon, because you're never going to play them. It just doesn't matter, you know?
But if you hated those games because they're garbage, would you still consider them canon?
I guess I just
whether you play them or not?
I guess my thing is I wouldn't care enough to have an opinion if I thought they were garbage.
Okay.
Like, they would just be like, if people think they're canon and they matter to them, cool. And, like, on paper they officially are, but I care so little that I don't care, and to me they don't matter. You know what I mean?
So you think on paper J.K. Rowling owns the canon still?
Yeah.
But the community might not care at all.
Right, and the community is what makes the brand good and matter. Because, like, yeah, the creator makes it, but, like, let's say that they made Skyrim and it got 3 sales. Okay, they still made Skyrim, right?
Yeah.
But no one cared. So, like, at that point, it's kind of one of those things. I thought I saw a guy standing somewhere when I was looking around. But, so, what I'm saying is, if no one cares, it also loses the power of what canon means, because this is all fake. This is all made up. This isn't like there's an absolute truth, you know what I mean? This is a fictional work that doesn't really matter. I mean, it matters because it's art and stuff, but it's not like you're changing history, you know what I mean? Like, I can't just go and be like, Nero wasn't canon.
Right.
But if I don't care about Nero, and let's say no one in history cares about Nero at all, and he's just relegated to unimportance, even if the stuff he did in history mattered, and no one cares, it now has no power, right? That's why it's important in, like, real life that people learn their history, right?
Yeah.
I think the same ideology applies to fiction, except the difference is that it's not as important because it didn't really happen. So if you're missing something, that's not the end of the world. Like, I guarantee there's canon stuff that you and I hate, just don't care about, and we're never going to watch again. RoboCop 3 is one of those things. Mm-hmm. It's terrible. It's trash. Everyone thinks it's trash. Literally everyone. No one cares if on paper it's canon. No one cares.
Right.
It's just bad. So no one gives a fuck. To most people, RoboCop ends with 2, and they don't care what happens after that. So it doesn't matter. I mean, like, I guess my answer is not to, like, shut you down. I agree with you that on paper, they own it. You know what I mean? The same way that, like... But you can also own something and do a shit job with it, too. Mm-hmm. And so in that way, like, if you're doing that, I think, though, that has more to do with the story than it does with your politics, you know, or your thought process. Like, I'm not gonna go support Bryan Singer movies now, because, like, he was kind of... I should say allegedly outed for this, because my understanding is that he was outed for pedophilia.
Okay.
like on set and stuff, and he was a big part of the X-Men movies, right?
Yeah.
That made them good. Not his pedophilia, his writing and directing and stuff.
Right.
But like him now being a pedophile, if he is, can you look that up, by the way?
Bryan Singer pedophilia?
Yes.
I don't want the CIA on my doorstep.
Sorry, I'm coughing. I don't want to go support his work now, you know what I mean? Like, if he was making another thing, I don't know if I'd really want to go watch it, because I don't want to give him my money. And in that way, whether it was canon or not to something I cared about, I just wouldn't care. But I suppose it still would be on paper, it just depends if you care.
Right.
I don't know if that makes sense or not. What? Is it a real thing?
A 1997 lawsuit, a 14-year-old extra accused Singer of asking him and other minors to film a shower scene in the nude for a film apt pupil. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, there was other stuff that came out later, too, and I don't know. I'm not trying to say, like, that he for sure is. I don't really know. My understanding was that there seemed to be a lot of credibility to some of those things.
Yeah.
But my point is, like, let's say that it was unequivocally proven in court tomorrow, right? Mm-hmm. Well, at that point, he can say whatever he wants as canon. I'm probably not going to want to go give it my money and support it, so I'm not going to care.
Right.
I think that, like, officially on paper, you can't take something, though. But I do think that there are brands that are bigger than the creator. Like, I think Star Wars and Assassin's Creed and some of these big brands, right? The reason they're so successful is the community, and by cutting them out and cutting out their say, which a lot of these companies do, you're setting those things up for failure.
Right. I guess my big thing is I just think it's kind of a dangerous ground where if we start, like, just saying, we own the community, it's like, well, or, like, not the community, we own the brand, just because you don't like something that someone thinks. I just think it's kind of dangerous. Like, for example, if I think the stuff with, like, sexual misconduct, stuff like that.
What's going on?
I don't know. I get what you're saying with, like, Bryan Singer, where it's like, well, I don't know if I want to watch that movie. But I think that's different than, like, Bryan Singer does not own this X-Men movie. I own X-Men. Like, to me, that sounds very selfish and very, like, narcissistic of, like, I own this product because I don't agree with that person's views.
Right, no, I agree with that.
Right, and like, if let's say tomorrow I wrote a book, like, I developed, like, a really great world, but then the community was like, well, Nate here, I don't know, Nate here thinks this thing that I don't agree with, so he doesn't own that book anymore. It's like, well, okay, that's stupid. Like, I still own the book, I wrote the book, I made the story, I developed all the ideas for it. Just because you don't agree with something I think doesn't mean that the community randomly gets to, like, own the property.
No, they don't own the intellectual property rights. They can't make money off of it and stuff. But I guess my question would also be, what makes you, as the creator, so much more important that your version of your story matters more than mine? Because
I'm the one that put the time in to develop the story.
Sure, but the problem is that without me, your story would be jack shit and you'd make no money at all.
Right.
So, like, when you put it out there into the wild, I feel like you also don't have a right to complain when people start coming up with their own stuff. Or you should keep it to yourself.
Right.
Because, like, this is something that happens a lot where people will put their thing out into the wild. Then someone will be like, hey, I have this thing, like, look at this, look at how this works. Look at all these things together, and this makes sense in this way, like Assassin's Creed and Ubisoft being canon. Well, I'm sorry, but if you're Ubisoft, you have no right to bitch about that, because if you want to bitch about it, you should have made that private.
Right.
That should have been your at-home project. Also, this is just about, like, a maiden that traveled around. According to that, there's supposed to be a Target close to here. What is this shack?
Shack of the Lofty.
So I call my cock. But no, my point is just, like, you made it a product.
Yeah.
And you made your product success dependent on me.
Mm-hmm.
So now if I have a say in your product too, you shouldn't have involved me and tried to sell it to me if you didn't want that either. I think it kind of goes both ways. Like, I think there's a dangerous ground on either side of this. There is the ground of Well, only reader response matters. Only. Once it's out there, you have no control. I don't think that's true. You know, like as the creator. Mm-hmm. These are different. By the way, what you got into, I don't know if you knew this, these are different schools of thought that are taught in English classes. Like for literature study. Like this is stuff I had to learn. And then there's the school of thought of, no, only the author's story matters. They own it. They're the sayer. Which I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but what you're saying is getting a little close to that. Mm-hmm. I don't agree with that either. I think that once you put it out there, it's a mix. Like both of them matter. You can't just ostracize one or the other and say, I have to go up this lift, by the way. I think you can't just ostracize one or the other and say like, well, now the creator doesn't matter at all, or now the audience doesn't matter at all because I'm the creator. Fuck all of you guys. And I've seen both things be done, and I don't think either of them is really okay, if that makes sense. Because at the end of the day, if there's a million of me and one of you, whether you put the time in or not, our opinions on your thing matter too.
Right.
Like they just do. And like if your story doesn't make as much sense as my fan fiction or whatever, and people latch onto my fan fiction and they reject your thing, well then you might own it and you're the one who can make money off it and stuff, but nobody respects what you said.
Right.
So then it doesn't matter. Just like if they made Dark Souls 4 and it was shit, no one would care about Dark Souls 4. They just wouldn't ever talk about it. Mm-hmm. It might be canon. No one cares. And so at that point, then your thing doesn't have much power either. So I feel like people need to be... I just genuinely feel like people need to be more, talk this kind of stuff out, because I think both sides matter.
Well, I think we need to get a mix between, like, J.R. Tolkien and George Lucas. We need a mixture between the two. Where, like, the author and the creator, I think, should have the final say in the story. Because it's theirs, like, it's their story. But the community should also be allowed to have their own say, too. I think George Lucas's approach to Star Wars, for a while, was kind of stupid. With, like, the whole Legends stuff, whereas, like... Not saying Legends is stupid, but I'm saying...
Well, parts of it are.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, just the idea of, like... Oh, anyone can create a story. Yeah, whatever. Because then now it's like, okay, but now we have like a lot of conflicting stuff, and there's some like really garbage storylines that should never have been written in the first place. That doesn't mean every Legend story should not have been written. But I think when you allow anything to happen, it just kind of creates some really outlandish material that should not even be a thing in the first place. But I also think when you're like J.R. Tolkien and the Tolkien Society, where it's like, I'm going to shut down the Dungeons and Dragons for including the word Hobbit. I think that's also kind of ridiculous, too.
I thought I had to come up here, but now it's looking like it's right down there.
Well, maybe... Is there any way to go up? Well, I guess maybe it's not up there. So I think both extremes are kind of ridiculous. Now, to be honest, I'm kind of happy that we don't have like a bunch of fan theories from Lord of the Rings that everyone says is canon, because I think Lord of the Rings is a pretty next to perfect trilogy, like in terms of the books and the movies.
Well, this is the thing that also gets into the quality of the product. Well, if the product is bad, then it's a little different too, because I think not as many people will care about the author intent of the of the canon.
Whereas I think the Lord of the Rings trilogy, if you compare those to Harry Potter, Harry Potter, I think Lord of the Rings is... I don't think there's any debate as to, like, what's the better series.
Well, right, because he thought it out well.
Exactly.
And there are fan things that I think tie into it pretty well.
Right, like the Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War stuff. That would be fan stuff.
Well, and that's also official stuff because of... I don't understand where this is. Can you help me? Like, do you have any...
what? No, that's that
it
yellow
is?
something. Yeah, because remember we have to kill someone?
Oh, sorry. I thought that was a blood stain.
Oh,
I'm an idiot. No, like, I think it really ties into, like, how good the thing is then, too, because if it's bad, well, then, of course, who's going to care what your official canon is, because you made it bad?
Right.
Hoslow's Oath?
Huh. Right, I guess my entire point is I just think it's... I'm not saying, like, I'm against it, I'm just saying I think it's very dangerous ground to be stepping in, where we're basically just saying, like, I don't like J.K. Rowling's opinion, so I'm cutting her out of it. It's like, well, but she is also the creator of this.
Right.
Without her, this wouldn't even be a thing.
And I agree with you.
Like,
I was just saying that you and I have the same thing, where there's things, literally the other day you said, how come we can run these brands better than half the people who make them?
Right.
So it's like, I think the problem, I'm not calling you a hypocrite.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, I think everyone does this. It just depends on how insane they are about it.
Yeah, and I also think there's a difference between, like, sex misconduct stuff with Bryan Singer and this person doesn't share my same political views. Right. Which is where I think the J.K. Rowling's thing is kind of stupid.
Shit.
And it's the same opinion with Scott Cawthon. It's like, the guy doesn't have your political views. Doesn't mean it's like, let's cut him out of the fandom. It's like, what? Like, what are we doing here? It's just a political opinion.
Right.
This isn't like this guy had sex with 2-year-old boys. It's like, well, no. Or like, this person wrote garbage games, because I think there's a difference between those. But
I'm having a bit of a hard time here, sorry.
Well, he's kind of tough. So I think there's a difference between actions and just opinions. Whereas I think...
Oh, no.
Oh, great.
Well, my sword randomly hit a thing.
Oh. And that's I guess, what my big problem with the J.K. Rowling's debate is. Oh. My big entire problem is, as far as I know, J.K. Rowling's did not do any bad actions or anything like that. She has said a lot of dumb things, but saying dumb things to me is different than writing a bad product or doing something bad.
Right. Can we read this, by the way, for just a second? So this thing, we had a weapon that looked really cool.
It was like a whip.
Yeah. Oh, first off, we got an oath, but we also got...
Oh, there it is, that weapon up there.
Metal whip formed of razor-sharp chain-link blades that have the appearance of flower petals. This work of art is handed down through the generations of the illustrious House Hoslow. The tale of House Hoslow is told in blood. Where's the...
What else do we get? Oh, all of his armor, I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, go up. Up. And then up one more.
Okay. A twin-tailed silver helm decorated with flowery adornments, symbol of the head of the revered House of Oslo. Juno Hoslow had a younger brother who was all talk and no trousers. Oh, he was way into poo.
Nice.
His inability to commit action was such that Juno inherited the Hoslow legacy without resistance, granting him the freedom to shower his little brother with adoration. Why does he sound like a nice guy?
He does sound like a good guy.
So this isn't quite as good. When Juno Hoslow received an invitation to the Volcano Manor, he discreetly refused. I have already walked many a road drenched in blood, yet never would I consider myself a champion.
Huh.
Do you want to see some of his stuff?
Sure.
Kind of neat. Let's see. I mean, I think we agree on this for the most part.
Yeah, I guess... Well, I was trying to think of...
Do you like this?
I think it's an interesting...
You don't like the helmet?
I don't like the helmet. The other stuff I think is... cool.
Do you like that?
Yeah.
You don't like it?
I think it's cool. I like our other armor better.
Well, I wanted to wear something different for a little while.
Okay.
Just because it's,
Yeah.
Do you think that fits?
Not really.
Well, what do you think fits with a helmet?
Okay, sorry.
They're all silver.
Sorry.
What is it to you that's, like, super fitting here?
Okay.
Do you want to pick something?
I'm sorry.
Well, no, just...
What about that thing to the right?
This?
Full goat helm.
Oh, yeah, that works.
Yeah, that one fits.
That's super perfect.
That fits.
Actually, I like this helmet.
That's pretty cool.
See, I like the chest piece.
Yeah, the chest piece is really cool.
I kind of want to just mix and match the armor. Not bull goat. Codger soldier. Well, where was the thing we were wearing before? Crucible. Then if I did the helmet and I did the crucible helmet, and then if I did... What do you think about that?
That's pretty cool.
I think it
add
kind of
some,
works.
like, gold to it. Some goldish bronze color or something.
You hate it.
No, I like it.
You're angry.
I actually like it.
You're angry because I didn't immediately say that J.K. Rowling is Jesus and that I want her story back.
We need to praise J.K. Rowling's all the time.
Look, J.K. Rowling had some base take. No, I'm just kidding. What does that say?
Shaft of the Lofty.
Ah, sleep. Okay, well, we can go back to Volcano Manor.
Yeah, let's defeat Rykard.
I did that whole thing. Let's get Rykarded! Let's get Rykarded in here! Woohoo!
What was that? There's a lot of NPCs here.
Did you want to look at a quest thing? Because you said if I do too much, Patch's quest ends.
I think we did Patch's quest.
I don't think we finished it.
Well, let's talk to Patches then. Let's talk to Patchy the Pirate.
Isn't he supposed to be here? Oh, wait, wrong.
Yeah,
Wrong
I thought he
path.
was in one of these hallways.
Wrong path. Was it this path? Yeah, there he is. He's taking a shit. What's outside? Do you see that?
Yeah, I think that's a enemy, like a gate enemy. Like a gatekeeper.
Oh.
Hello again. Welcome to Patch's Emporium.
Hello again.
Can you...
Well, actually, wait. Remember he gave us a letter. So let's look at the letter.
Let's sell the Remembrance of the Omen King.
That sounds like a great idea. So the Volcano Manor's, yeah, letter to Patches.
No, we already killed this guy.
Great Horn Tragoth.
We killed that guy already.
We did? So is there another one?
No, that's why I'd like you to look up Patch's questline real quick. Because you told me if we kill Rykard and we get to Rykard, then it would end his questline.
Okay, let's look up Patches.
Let me go up here, because I don't think I ever looked up here.
Okay.
And I just wanted to see what was actually up here. Enemy ahead. Right? Didn't we never go up here?
I don't recognize this area. Maybe that's Rykard on the right, and he's leaving his armor. Oh, jeez!
The Great Pyramid of Giza!
What is this? Like a wooden wheel?
Yeah, it's annoying.
I hate when like these invader guys like dodge your magic.
Yep, me too.
Jeez.
Oh, jeez.
What is that? I'm so happy we picked this as like the magic thing of choice.
What, the moon?
Yeah, because remember we could get like the moon and then there was like a different weapon we could pick after defeating Renala?
And we almost picked the other one.
I know. Hey, nice, you defeated the Great Pyramid.
Well, tomb looters have been doing it for years.
This wheel? Oh, you actually got him.
Let's see what that actually says for lore. Great iron wheel, blah, 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 blah. Device of torture used by Inquisitor Giza. As the wheel spins, it causes severe pain and blood loss. The design was adopted for use as the iconic weapon wielded by the Iron Virgins.
Oh, that's like my nickname.
That makes sense. Yours is more like the Bronze Virgin. You haven't made it quite there yet. You're on your way, though. What do you have to do to become the Diamond Virgin?
You have to reach at least the age of 40.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Because then you can be the 40-year-old virgin.
I got the joke.
Got it.
Thanks.
Okay, I didn't know if you understood.
Should I, real quick, ask this guy, ask these two anything, and then talk to the people? Right? Wait, where's the one?
Well, remember we didn't we beat a quest line in here?
Look at you. A recusant through and through. I knew you had it in you. Take this. A special invitation to hunt some of the first tarnished who sat at the round table hold. If you should accept, I'll next see you on the field of battle.
So he gave us a letter, so it's a good thing I talked to him. Because his letter... red letter? What the heck? Oh. Letter to Bernal. Oh, written request addressed to Bernal disclosing the names of 2 tarnished. Vargum, the Raging Wolf, Errant Sorcerer, Wilhelm. They can be found in the royal capital of Leyndell. Well, so the good thing is we already unlocked that place.
Yeah.
Did you see... do you have any idea what happened to the maiden that was here? Like the one with the arched back that we thought could give great head?
Right. Well, I did read online, or I should say I figured this out myself.
Okay.
That as you complete some of these quests, the people leave.
Oh, okay.
So, like, she probably moved on to wherever her next stop is.
Okay, got it. But then here we have to get rid of Volcano request Vargum.
Yeah.
I thought they were supposed to both be here.
Well, maybe the second one appears when we defeat this one.
Okay. So they should be right around here. I think.
Yeah, if they are indoors. Oh, they're probably in here. There it is.
Yep. Well, this was easy to get to.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's easy to beat.
Are we going to play Dark Souls on the channel?
I'd like to. Yeah, would you like to?
I would also like to.
I mean, they're all really good games. I don't really... Oh, okay.
What? Is he going to backstab you? Oh, wait, no. This guy's helping you. Defeat... Oh, wait. So we have to defeat both of them, but we're getting help from this guy. Summon your Mimic tier.
I can't.
Oh, okay. Why don't we defeat the other guy instead of Kaiser Wilhelm II over there?
Okay.
Okay, never mind. That got healed. Never mind.
I mean, I'm just sitting back and doing magic, so...
Okay.
Did my buddy just die?
No, he's still there.
Okay, so he killed the other guy.
Oh, jeez.
Whoa, that was pretty cool.
Wait, now you killed him.
So now they're dead. I already got them.
Yeah, we just did it.
That was really fast. So it just happens to be quicker when you spam the moon.
Raging Head. Oh, nice.
I'd like to see these real quick. See these nuts. Raging Wolf Helm. Helm worn by Vagram the Raging Wolf, one of the first Tarnished to visit the Round Table Hold. Vargum's nickname comes from the White Wolf's mane that decorates his helm.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I like that helmet.
I can't believe you like something. Armor worn by Vargum, blah, blah, blah. According to the old legends, wolves are the shadows of the Empyrean, and this is what Vargum wanted to be, whatever.
Okay.
Can't read. Where is... Oh, Raging Wolf.
Raging Boners.
Raging Boner, armor.
This is a pretty cool armor set.
Yeah, I want to see what it looked like out in the open. That's sick.
That's awesome.
I really like that. See, this game has some of the coolest armor in the Soulsborne games.
Yeah, that's been one of my complaints with a lot of Souls games is it seems like every Souls game I've played has like maybe 4 or 5 cool armor sets in the game.
That is a really big problem with the first, like, Demon
Yeah,
Souls. Like, there's a couple that are really cool, and the rest are really forgettable.
Right. Well, and even the ones that you can buy from, like, the bosses that you beat, some of those are pretty cool, and they're cool to own, but I feel like running around with, like, Smo's armor is, like, kind of derpy.